Imagine a world in chaos. Cities once thriving with trade and culture now lie in ashes. Empires crumble, and humanity faces a dark and uncertain future. Who were the mysterious Sea Peoples, and what drove them to launch their devastating raids that ended the Bronze Age? For decades, archaeologists and historians have puzzled over the enigmatic Sea Peoples, a shadowy force that swept through the ancient world around 1200 BCE. Were they invaders, refugees, or pirates? What could possibly explain the widespread destruction that marked the end of the Bronze Age? To understand the magnitude of the mystery, we first need to grasp what was at stake. The Late Bronze Age wasn't just a time of kings and warriors. It was an interconnected network of trade and diplomacy spanning the Eastern Mediterranean and beyond. Mighty civilizations like the Egyptians, Hittites, and Mycenaeans thrived. They shared ideas, goods, and cultures, creating a vibrant tapestry of human achievement. But by 1150 BCE, much of this world had vanished, replaced by ruins and memory. How did this thriving world unravel? Over the years, scholars have proposed many theories. Let's explore some of the most compelling. Environmental catastrophes. Could an extended drought have starved Bronze Age societies, pushing people to migrate or raid for survival? Archaeological evidence, such as dried-up riverbeds and pollen studies, suggests prolonged climate change may have played a role. The Trojan War. Perhaps the Sea Peoples were not just faceless marauders, but veterans of the legendary Trojan War. Could this epic conflict have triggered a domino effect, displacing warriors and refugees and setting off waves of migration? Economic collapse. Some researchers point to the vulnerabilities of Bronze Age economy. The Mycenaeans, for example, relied heavily on grain agriculture. A series of bad harvests could have provoked famine, leading to raids and widespread instability. Foreign invaders. Another idea is that the Sea Peoples originated from Central Europe. Descending from the Adriatic and surrounding regions, they may have destroyed Mycenaean Greece, ravaged Troy, and finally moved south to attack Egypt. Technological shifts. Could changes in warfare have contributed to the chaos? Before the crisis, battles were dominated by chariot battalions. But with the rise of mobile infantry units, traditional military powers may have found themselves outmaneuvered and outmatched. Natural disasters. What if earthquakes were the silent architects of this destruction? Archaeologists have found evidence of seismic activity in regions like Greece, Turkey, and Egypt during this period. These disasters could have weakened cities, making them easy prey for opportunistic raiders. Even with decades of research, as renowned archaeologist Eric H. Cline notes, every answer only leads to more questions. But there's a new intriguing idea, one that shifts the spotlight onto an often overlooked player in the ancient world. The Luwians were a powerful and sophisticated people who inhabited what is now Western Turkey. For centuries, they coexisted with their more famous neighbors, the Hittites and Mycenaeans. But their role in the Bronze Age collapse has been largely overlooked until now. This theory suggests the Bronze Age collapse wasn't the result of a single invasion, but a series of interconnected wars. Picture this. 1. The Sea Peoples invasion. A coalition of Luwian petty states from the Aegean launches naval assaults across the eastern Mediterranean. This wave of attacks devastates coastal cities and disrupts trade networks. 2. The Trojan War. In retaliation, allied Greek forces wage war on the Luwians, immortalized in legend as the Trojan War. 3. Civil unrest in Greece. Finally, internal struggles erupt in Greece, culminating in a civil war that hastens the collapse of Mycenaean society. 3 interconnected conflicts, a Zeroth World War that reshaped the ancient world as we know it. So why does this story matter to us thousands of years later? The Bronze Age civilizations were deeply connected through trade, diplomacy, and culture. When one part of the system faltered, the ripple effects were felt everywhere. Today, as we face our own challenges, geopolitical tensions, the story of the Sea Peoples reminds us that no society exists in isolation. History doesn't just repeat itself, it teaches us, and the lessons of the past are as relevant now as they were 3,000 years ago. Subscribe to Footsteps of History for more untold stories of the ancient world.